Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Darvell, and I am a recent recipient of a PMP certification from the Project Management Institute. I have been undergoing this process to attain this certification for several months now. And so I wanted to take all of my learnings and kind of encapsulate them and share them with other people in case, folks may be going out to get the PMP themselves, learn from the things that I witnessed, the things that I seen, just share and help other folks get through this process smoother and with more confidence. Because I do truly believe that once, you go through something, you should share those learnings so that other people can get through it faster, quicker, and we improve the outcomes for everyone overall over time. So I'm going to break it down into a couple different steps or phases. I'm going to break this into multiple videos just to make them all short and easy to digest. Nationally, but nominally, this video right here is kind of like the introduction, and it's kind of going to talk about why I decided to even get the PMP. So a little background about me, and then why I decided that project management professional certification would be good for myself personally in my career. Next, I'm going to talk about what I went through to apply for it. Following that, the actual application to prepare to apply. Then I'm going to talk about the actual application process. Then we're going to talk about the studying that's required or that I went through before actually sitting for the exam. And then the actual exam, and then the certification, receiving the certification. So it's going to be about 5 or 6 videos, hopefully less than 10 minutes each, so that, you can share one of the videos to someone who needs to know something specific and they don't have to go through, 20 minutes of unnecessary information. So just to start off, a little bit about kind of why I did this. So I'm currently a mechanical engineer by education, but actual trade application, I'm an automotive engineer. I'm a senior automotive engineer. I've been in the industry for over 10 years. I've done manufacturing, R&D, product development, and now I'm in purchasing or supplier management. So you're always managing projects and programs, different aspects thereof throughout this type of space that I have been in this industry. You're always leading something. And so you would think typically, as you see in the industry, you see in the greater U.S., let's say, talent economy, the natural inclination is to go for, I have a bachelor's right now, I have a bachelor's in mechanical engineering. The natural inclination is to go for a master's. A lot of folks are coming out of school directly with a master's. So they're either doing all of it at once, or they're going right back to school soon after having attained their undergrad and getting a master's. A lot of times for engineers, it's going to be either a master's in engineering or it might be an MBA. I think that those are great degrees. I'm not here to, say anything negative about those. And I am interested in doing that, and that's been my plan. However, the past couple of years I've been very busy, and I haven't really been dabbling in the education or continual education space. I've heard of the PMP, the Project Management Professional Certification. I've heard about it here and there. It's not a big thing in the auto industry like that, nor is actually, if you think about engineering, nor is a professional engineering certification or PE cert. That's not really huge in the auto industry. That's honestly more in structural engineering for buildings, construction, civil engineering, public works. Those are areas where, especially if you're going to be doing that type of level of engineering for structures and other things directly with the public or on behalf of the public through maybe either architecture firm or a public entity such as the city or county or state Department of Transportation, or whoever you might be looking at having 1 or 2 PEs in that organization to support signing off and confirming a lot of the critical details and what have you. And that's neither here nor there. I'm just speaking on anyone who might think that a PE might be applicable to myself in the auto industry. It's really not. The PMP isn't, but the PMP is still, even though it's not proliferant, you don't see the PMP much in the auto industry, but it is definitely very relevant. And I'm going to talk about why. Another thing that influenced me to go towards this, understanding that, I wanted to do the graduate degree, but not really feeling like, after looking at the requirements, the GRE or GMAT, then the application process for the school, and then the cost, and then looking at where I was in my career and whether I could have like my company pay for it or what have you. There are some things there that I had concern about that I needed to handle. And I still wanted to move forward with some type of continual education that would be relevant. And I have a great friend of mine who actually did his PMP before actually going to get his MBA. And so I decided I wanted to take a similar step and go for the PMP after looking into kind of the applications and kind of the broad understanding of what it prepared you for. And then especially looking at the requirements to actually obtain it, it felt like it would be a good next step that wasn't going to be too overbearing. It's nothing that you're going to have to go and break yourself in order to get. It doesn't take a whole lot of time to do it. There are plans out there where I've heard, instructors or programs or platforms available that can help you get prepared to take and pass the exam in less than 60 days, even a month. I've seen some extreme examples. I'm not saying that people can't do it. I'm not saying people don't or haven't. I'm just saying that these are things that I've heard. It did not take me, I didn't do it in a month. I did it in several months, and I'll explain why in a moment. But looking at it as a quick and affordable way to kind of kickstart my continual education journey. And I'm also being tech adjacent. As you see, I'm very much into technology. I do a little coding. I also know that the auto industry, especially with electrification of vehicles, software defined vehicles rather, are becoming more and more proliferating. They're proliferating throughout the industry. They're very important. And so software development, verification, validation, leading program teams or project teams through software projects is extremely relevant. And the PMP is very big in the tech and also construction and large infrastructure project areas. So that's really where the PMP kind of thrives, is in construction and infrastructure development and rollout projects, as well as in the tech industry when we talk about coding, software, high agile rollout of flexible services, and also even management of existing service platforms. That's where PMPs really start to become more and more heard of. So they're not a big deal for me in terms of auto industry, but it's definitely something that I think has a place now and into the future as far as a skill set that the PMP enforces the person has. And I'm also an organizer as well. I'm a community organizer. And so there's nothing but endless projects in that. And so thinking about all of these things, it seemed like a very natural and honestly not too difficult way to attain some globally recognized credentials, which the PMP is. It is a globally recognized credential that could help bolster people in terms of my appearance, help bolster my branding, help bolster my optics as being a serious leader in terms of programs and projects, both inside and outside of my industry. So it seemed like a natural, quick step. So with that being said, looking at the cost and everything, I decided to go forward with it. And so I will just say very easily that it has been it's been a very educational, eye-opening and enlightening and enjoyable experience. Honestly, you would think that, especially when you're just trying to cram to get an exam done. I didn't cram. I took my time, so to speak, and looking into some of the different concepts, the philosophies, the theories that you touch on, just very quickly touch on in the process of learning about people leadership, ethics in projects, ethics in business, talking about some of the smaller details around contracts and managing those things. These type of topics are covered during the PMP process when you're studying, when you're learning the basics, when you're learning the mindset of how to be a great project or program manager. All these different things were touched on, including leadership styles. And so that really resonated with me to go through those philosophies and learn a little bit about them. And I think it was extremely relevant and good for me to learn those things. So it was a great experience overall, and I definitely would recommend it to many people, even if you don't feel like your industry typically sees that cert or that those credentials being attained. If you feel like those type of topics would be relevant to what you want to be, who you want to be, and the things that you do, then definitely look into the project management professional certification from PMI, or the Project Management Institute. So that's kind of why I got into this. And so as I said, I'm going to do several other videos where I talk about the process. The process is going to be as follows. There's going to be, as I said, preparing to apply for the actual exam, because you do have some things you need to knock out the way before you can actually apply for the exam. There's going to be the actual application process, which I'll be honest with you is probably about 25 to 30% of the struggle to attain your certification is actually applying for it. And I'm going to explain why in the next video. The actual studying after you apply and you get approved to sit for the exam, you got to study and get ready to actually pass the exam. So there's a lot of energy around that in terms of different resources, classes, online exam simulators, things like that, study aids that you can use to learn the material to the degree necessary to pass the exam. Then I'm going to talk about my exam day experience. I took the exam in person. Some people decide to take it online at home. I decided to do it at a testing center. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about that because I don't think there's a lot of information about what happens when you go to the test center. And then the certification. What does that look like? How is it awarded? And what do you do with it going forward? So I'm just sharing my experience personally. And I would love to get any comments, feedback in the comment section on these videos just to help enriching anyone who comes to this video so they can learn even more. Of course, great resources. I'll just shout out off the top. Reddit has been amazing. I'm going to try to link these videos to Reddit so that the Redditors can come and see, and I just shout out to everybody who's contributed to the Reddit for PMP over the years. That has been a gold mine to help people like myself and others figure out some of the nuances and get through some of the hurdles that you face as you work your way to getting the certification. Reddit has been awesome. And so I just want to show appreciation to everyone who's on Reddit contributing and supporting that community. So I'm going to land my plane here. I want to thank you for watching this quick video, intro to my series on my experience attaining a PMP. And I look forward to checking you out in the next videos.